Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Rom's new book, I'm Not Playing, Thoughts from a Raw Brotha. Hey, y'all see the cover to it, so you know I've got my little, red stuff in the glass, I'll put it like that. Yeah, shoot. But no, this book is a collection of blogs that I've had on my site, romwills.com. Some of the most popular blogs, because I was writing blogs on there between October 2013 and February 2016. And it just got to a point I was putting out like long essays every Sunday morning, and I just had to take a break. And ironically, because I took that break is why you are hearing this podcast now, because I just decided to just do podcasts and videos at that point. Yeah, it was tough, right? Those major things, and then got to go through it and all that stuff. And I'm just like, whatever. And I still keep my writing going now, just not as long now with the Negro Manosphere. So if y'all want to catch just my writing style, just check out the Negro Manosphere. That's in the description box. But this is my book. Y'all got support. If y'all want it now, that's where I really get raw. That's where I first started out getting raw. And I was sitting on a variety of topics. I talk about how women blow it with good guys. I talk about the good men rebellion. Definitely about the men who get the most women and my thoughts on the whole alpha thing. And I got quite a few things in there. And then I ended up kind of profound and everything. So definitely check it out. Let me read something from it. Let me read some excerpts. I'm going to tell a story. Man, I need to donate to that brother. Now, his name escapes me, the one that plays the Nazi in American Gods. See, I like how I'm going to tell a story. Well, let me tell a story. One of the blogs, like one of my most popular blogs, I actually did a video on it, was called Blowing It with Mr. Right. And so I had a scenario in there. I'm gonna read that scenario for y'all real quick, right? And this is the most popular blog. People are liking it, sharing it, give some feedback, because this happens to a lot of people, right? So anyway, Freddie and Linda Do-Right have been married for 5 years with a young daughter. Everything is good in their marriage for the most part. They don't have the same excitement they had while dating, but they still have a good time together. There's some things that could be improved. Freddie could be a little bit more romantic in Linda's eyes. Instead of communicating this with him, she talks with her girlfriends, Betty, April, and Doreen. Her girlfriends are all single and have a tendency to bash men. So they start getting in Linda's ear. They magnify everything Freddie isn't doing right. After a few months, they collectively tell Linda, "Girl, you deserve better." Now, Freddie is a hard worker, handsome, nice body, and committed to being a one-woman man. The sex life is even good. Yeah, they could go out more, but Linda never expresses her desire to do so. Freddie thinks everything is cool. After listening to her girlfriends, Linda starts holding back on sex, and minor things become major arguments. After one major argument, she tells Freddie he needs to leave. So Freddie moves out, and now they are separated. Her girlfriends come over to console her. After a few weeks, they come over to take her on a girls' night out. So they're at the club having a good time, and that's when he walks up and introduces himself. Dexter Goodbar. 6 foot, drop dead, handsome, muscular, stylish dresser with a sexy walk. Linda and her girlfriends have been checking out Dexter as he erotically danced with a woman on the dance floor. Dexter sees that he has been chosen, and that makes his move. Dexter starts spitting that smooth game with that sexy voice, getting Linda wet as he hits her with a verbal aphrodisiac and a piercing gaze. Next thing you know, Linda is going home with Dexter. They get to his place, and Linda says, "You know, I usually don't do this." Dexter looks at Linda, grabs her hand, pulls her to him, and kisses her fiercely. Next thing you know, the clothes are off and Dexter is doing her. Not just doing her, but doing her well. Linda has several orgasms. After a month of sex with Dexter, Linda decides to file for a divorce. She's convinced she's found her soulmate. She files the papers and tells Dexter, Linda, I filed for a divorce from my husband. We can be together. Dexter, together? Who told you it was like that? Linda, we have something special together. I want to be with you. Dexter, you better get out of here with that shit. I just wanted some pussy. Don't get me wrong, you suck a mean-ass dick, but my other women got skills too. Linda, I thought I was the only one. Dexter, I ain't never tell you that. You need to get your shit and go. Linda, just like that? Dexter, just like that. Linda leaves Dexter's place feeling depressed and humiliated. And she is consoled by her girlfriends, April and Doreen. She thinks she made a mistake in filing for a divorce. She thinks she should try to reconcile with Freddie. While talking with April and Doreen, Linda asks about Betty. They say that Betty has pulled away from them lately. They're not sure what's going on with her. So where's Betty? While Dexter had Linda's ankles up by her head, Freddie was at his small place trying to make sense of everything. All he was doing was going to work and coming home sleeping. One day he is on a social media site and he gets a private message from Betty. She asks, how is he doing? He said he's making it. Betty says it's too bad what's happening, that Freddie is a good man. Ironically, Betty was the main one telling Linda she needed to leave Freddie. They message each other a few more times and then talk on the phone. Betty calls him one day and asks if she can come over for a few minutes because his apartment is on the way to an appointment she has. Freddie, without thinking, says, yeah, sure. A few hours later, Freddie hears a knock on his door. When he answers it, he sees a stunning sight. Betty is standing at his door with a short black dress on that shows off her perky breast, hugs her round ass, and showcases her shapely legs. She has her hair done and some 4-inch heels. On top of that, she's holding a plate of food, talking about Freddie would appreciate a home-cooked meal. Freddie takes the plate to the kitchen, and when he gets back to the living room, Betty has made herself at home on the couch. Freddie sits on the couch with her. Betty crosses her legs in Freddie's direction, revealing just enough thigh to make a normally reasonable man stupid. Game over. Actually, it was game over when she was standing at the door with a plate of food. A few weeks later, Linda stops by to surprise Freddie and to talk about reconciling. Linda gets the surprise, though, when Betty answers the door in a silk bathrobe. In one moment, Linda realizes she lost a good man. Yo, this scenario, well, I ain't gonna get into the rest of it, but look, check it out. I mean, because it's not, and just to be clear, the story, it's not a bunch of like little stories like that. It's just, that was just one example and stuff. Let me find another one, right? Because some of the stuff, like, I have one I'm talking about different women, different alpha males. And basically in that particular blog, I was saying, the concept of an alpha male ain't the same with all women, right? Like, I provided 4 real life examples. Of course, I had to change the names and everything, right? So let me read this. Jolene is a white bisexual female in her late 20s from a solid middle class background. She is very physically attractive, as most men who have commented to me about her rate her as a 9. Though she easily attracts Tom Brady types, she has a visceral hatred for men she derides as pretty boys. She gets hot for men who others would see as sensitive, creative beta types. Her choices are shaped by her sexual orientation, her vocation as a creative person, she crafts and sells products, and her spiritual beliefs, which can be described as New Age. Stephanie is a white female in her late 40s from a poor, dysfunctional background. Though her lifestyle is solidly middle class now, her relationship choices were shaped during her childhood. Most men would rate her as an 8, and she would be seen as a MILF. Though she gets plenty of attention from tall, rich, and dominant white men, they barely register on her radar. Her idea of an alpha male is a younger man with long hair, visible tattoos, and piercings. The scruffier the man looks, the better. Her choices are shaped by her background and her underlying personality. Though she looks conservative on the surface, she has several concealed tattoos and piercings. Christina is a young black female in her 20s from a middle-class background. Most men would rate her as a 10 or, as called in urban environments, a dime. She literally looks like a black Barbie doll, as she never wears pants and routinely wears tight sweaters, skirts, fishnets, and 5-inch heels. On the surface, she would seem like she would be the type to be attracted to the standard alpha male, particularly a black masked man. A man would not get the time of day from her unless he was heavily immersed in black Christian church culture. An alpha male for her would be a man who has an important position in a church hierarchy. He also couldn't have tattoos and must have an overall conservative look. Her ideal man would be seen by most other women as a nice guy. Jacqueline is a young black female in her 20s from a middle-class background. Most men would rate her as an 8. She is very serious-minded and focused on getting her education. In the black community, there is a prevailing notion that many young women want thugs. Jacqueline, because of her goals and overall personality, would not give a thug the time of day. To get her interested, a man needs to have a somewhat conservative look and focus on getting his education. Her ideal man would be considered corny by many women. Boom, there it is. So anyway, right, and those are just two of the things, right? Y'all check it out. Check it out. There's a link in the description box. So, it's a good one. It's a good one. So anyway, I get back with y'all. Support a brother. See how deep Uncle Rom can really go. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.